Welcome, everyone, to another enlightening Ascension Wisdom Conversations. It is brought to you by Galactic Ascension Academy at SheilaTillich.com. Yes, this is the time to awaken and live your soul's mastery. I am a Galactic grandmother, Sheila Tillich, and I invite you to relax and enjoy this time together as we discover our Ascension Wisdom Mastery. As souls, we have entered a higher dimensional reality as humans on planet Earth. This is the new energy consciousness. It has awakened our multidimensional spiritual DNA abilities, which are given to us by our galactic ancestors. Join me, dear ones, as we live at our soul's full potential, live in our wisdom mastery in this ascension time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ascension Wisdom, and I am your host, Sheila Tillich. And I am very, very excited tonight because I have a dear friend who is a galactic hybrid, all right, walk-in. Ooh, Brenda Zyburt, welcome to Ascension Wisdom.
Thank you, Miss Sheila. I'm so happy to be here. You got great, phenomenal energy.
We've been just talking here, shooting the shit, that's what we've been doing. And that's exactly what I want us to do. Just have a great conversation about our own experiences. And I want my community to meet my Brenda. So Brenda, would you like to share a little bit about yourself? Please.
I would. It may take 5 minutes.
That's all right. Go for it. You've got all the time in the world. That's what it's all about. Go for it.
Thank you. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I usually start it with, it doesn't start when I'm an adult. It started when I was born, per se. At around 12 to 14 months old, the child in this body chose to exit, and I walked in as a galactic hybrid walk-in. So at that time is really when it began in 1965. The child was born in 64. I came in 65, and I came into a very hard contract purposely so that throughout my experiences in life, it forged me early in the illusion of the planet and the density of it. And I grew up in a very dense alcoholic family. One would say like with a lot of dysfunction, a lot of hidden, a lot of anger, and a lot of parents that didn't even want kids. So there's a lot there. And then in 2008, I'm just going to fast forward, 2008 is when my galactic team really woke me up. I always knew there were beings with me. I grew up on a farm in the Midwest, and I had a pony, and I'd always ride out in the woods. I was always out in nature, hundreds of acres, surrounded by thousands of acres. We had 3 forests and a whole swamp pond. So I had like a whole nice playground. And I would go out in the woods with my pony and just lay in a tree, and there would be deer and fox and coons. So I've always been with nature. And then in 2008, after a long, tough life, the galactics, I had a lot of galactic interaction. And I remember always like going into, when I was in my bed, I would go up into like white particles, and they would take me on the ships. And then one day I came back, and my kids were around 14, 12 in that age. And I had a triangle on my back, and it was like a triangle, an inch by inch by inch deep. And they wanted me to go to the hospital, and I laughed at them. And I said, you want me to tell them that the ETs took me and I have no pain? Right? And so at that time, it did take me a while to understand what they did. They explained to me that I was going to expire and that they had to reboot my whole system. So they equated it to like putting a whole new hard drive in my system. And in 2008 is, we work with Dr. John Ryan. It's like when the email came around that we were all supposed to wake up because the world wasn't going to die. So they started waking up the galactic beings that needed to be on a path for the future, which the future is now. So my experiences progressed. And I want to say in October 2023, I was working with a galactic crystal, and it was broken in half, and I had a part on my chest and a part on my third eye in meditation. And I equate this to, I felt like a magnetic gnat coming out of the crystal and going up into my nose, and it lodged into my face. And I was really sick for a while. And there was a battle over me, if you will. Like the dark beings on the earth wanted this technology because it was galactic technology that wasn't on this earth yet in human form. And it went on for a few weeks, but luckily the light won. It was like actually the Venetians that interfaced with it, and I'm here. And then fast forward, like I have a lot of ships over my house. I should have said that in 2008. There were 3 ships over my house. One day when I went out on my back porch, it was like you'll remember concerts where they had those big strobe lights that went in the distance, and you're like, oh, there's a concert over there. That's what it looked like when I went back door. It was like 2 big strobe lights. And then all of a sudden they came straight in my face and they were straight centered and they were purple, like the purple behind you, like a dark purple. And then I looked up and there were 3 ships. Quiet is quiet. You could hear a pin drop. That's how quiet ships really are. And they stayed there for a few minutes before they went in formation down the sky.
Okay,
And
okay. Hold on
there's
a
a
second.
whole lot.
All right. I'm going to set this up for our community, our listeners that are listening to this. But Brenda, everything that's coming out right now about the UFOs,
Yeah.
people they think that this is, some things aren't real, but we know it's real. So this is a great time for you to come out and say, hey, this is who I am. And I love it. And so I want to set this up for people to know that this is real stuff. This has been going on for quite a while. And we are just so excited that we can actually share this stuff. We know this has been going on for a long time. So I know about those lights. I know about those strobe lights. And I've also seen the ships too. So continue on with your story. But I just wanted to let my viewers know, it's like, this is real stuff, guys. This is real stuff. And that's why we get so excited. So go ahead. It was October of 23.
Right. And so they put a technology got in me. I even went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. He looked up in scopes and he's going like, I don't see nothing, but the technology was there. And what happened over 6 months duration after the whole battle ended, and I seen somebody in Sedona, I won't even say the name, and they said, no, do you get it? They don't care if you live or not. They want that technology. And I didn't understand what this technology is. I don't really understand it all today. But during like between sleep and wake, I would hear gears going in my brain. And then after a minute, they would know I was awake and then they would stop. And then again in a few days, and they would make adjustments in a few months. And then over a 6 month period, I had adjustments made in my body. And that was that. Right. And so one time during this period, before I go into the next phase, people need to know that they walk amongst us. I used to do conferences. I'm a sound healer. I got crystal balls. I do a lot of energy work. I was packing up. I would do 10 conferences easily a year in Arizona, California, Nevada, Las Vegas. So I was packing up at the end of a long day, doing sessions, and I'm always in the lobby. I don't go in the inner, inner where all the readers are, because it's just too much energy for bowls when I do sound healing. And I was packing up, and all of a sudden, there was 2 people that came up to my booth, and they were speaking to me like in a Russian language. And I turned around, and they wanted to know if they could talk about bowls. And these 2 beings was a man and a woman. They were so beautiful, blonde hair, perfect. Gym people had nothing on these people, right? Perfect tan skin. They kind of look like Italian, but with German accents, blonde hair, and beautiful blue eyes. And they sat there talking to me for about 15 minutes. And they said they wanted it for the Russian community. And I got to tell them, like, crystal bowls have no denomination, so they work for everybody. Some people have to understand like their musical instruments also. And then I asked if they wanted to come over to my house for a private, showing on them. And they took my stuff and they said, no, we know who you are and we know where you live. We'll be in touch. And I said, all right. And it took me 6 months to a year to realize they were actually Pleiadians that came up and spoke to me. So people don't realize that they walk amongst us and they will come. They do love Disney. They do love Vegas because they can blend in without people doing them, but they also, when it's a big conference or other things where people are there for, to expand, they want to see everybody's energy. And it's really real, right? So I talked to another lady about a year, like maybe 6 or 8 months ago, one of my good friends that was at that, and she remembered those beings. She goes, I remember them because she's a psychic and she had them, and they came to talk to her too. So they walk amongst us. They've been here this whole time, and so then in October of 2025, maybe September, October. There's been a few occasions this last December, like when I walk out my back door, I'll look straight up above my neighbor's house and there's a ship sitting there. And I'm in an F-35 flight loop. So I'll see F-35s going in formation. I'll see helicopters going over for air vacs. And then your brain goes through, oh, that's not a plane. That's not an air vac. That's not F-35s. And then you go, oh, it's a ship. And it would sit there blinking a green light until I purposely looked up and acknowledged them. And then I'm like, oh, and I didn't say it out loud. I go, I'd like to get my phone so I could take a picture. I turn around and then the light went off. And it's like, I heard no. And I'm like, okay. So I turned back and instantly they just move over. And then the light goes back on and it was blinking. And they went from the east all the way to the west in a slow form. So I have the ships come over the house like that. And it's not, they don't fly by. They wait for me to acknowledge them because it's my galactic family. And I did have somebody on another podcast ask me, do you get afraid? What happens? And it's like, I almost got appalled. Like, no, they're my family. I feel love, I feel unity, and I feel such a profound connection, right, with the frequencies. And so when you raise your frequency, they see you by your frequency. It's not your love, because frequency is what the universe sees you by. Love is a passenger. So it's really important that people ask me, like, I want to see them, either beings or the ships, and it's your frequency, raising your frequency and having no distortion in your field. And then in December 19th, 2025, I actually had a very profound experience. I went into a medical institution where you get IV drips, like for vitamins. I was dragging from my work experiences, and I'm like, okay, Christmas is coming. I just want to get a B complex. And I do NADs, NADs. It's like a green food for your cells and muscles. And I could get 400 or 500 milligrams, which most people can't. And I've had that a few times and they don't affect me at all. And so I was just going to get 200 milligrams. And I went in there and they didn't have it. So I had a Miles cocktail, which is just vitamins and C. And then she switched it over, a nurse. She was a ER nurse that runs this facility. And she put the NAD drip into my IV and she sat across from me talking to me as she opened it up. And most people don't open it full. She opened it fully. So that was probably mistake one. But I told her when it came in, I said, my heart is hurting, my whole chest. And she's like, oh no, my husband has those. Just breathe through it. I go, no, you don't get it. And this is within like 20 seconds. I said, it's going down my body. It's down my legs, my knees down. My legs just went pure numb. I can't even feel my feet. And then it came up and it went through my whole chest, like rib the top, and went. And what it was a massive heart attack. And I was gone instantly. And the technology kept my body alive. So one would say it's a spiritual death, but it was actually a heart attack. So I was gone in Earth time. Earth time would be like 2 weeks to a month. I was spiritually gone. And although it could have been
like a near-death experience, when people come back and they, yeah.
But there was no, I seen this whole tube and walked through all these things. Like they took me, my 3D soul, they took out because I was doing so many timeline jumps and I advanced so much. I did clear everything I needed to do in the 3D contracts. And I've been doing this gig of connecting with my team for an hour and a half every morning for over 30 years. So I'm so dedicated. And they took me out and I didn't want to come back. I refused to come back. So my higher self, my golden one, who I called, said, you 5D, get in. So they put a 5D frequency in this body. And then when I woke up, and all these voices were talking to me, and it was like stuffing me into this body. And I'm like, oh shit. And I woke up to a lady going, Brenda, Brenda. I'm like, who is this? And then I knew what kind of happened to me. And it was kind of like, I wasn't like, so when you have a near-death experience, it's your soul and it's a different aspect come in versus being a walk-in. So when I first walked in, it didn't matter because the baby was so young. And some people who are actual walk-ins, when that happens, you come back with no memory of family. I came back with memory. I woke up and I'm like, I need to get out of here. Can I drive? I didn't even know if I could drive. And then when they left me, they put an IV drip in me for like 30 minutes of just clear solutions because they were so scared. And they kept me there purposely. And I called my daughter and I told her what happened. And then I had to call my son and tell him on the way home. I didn't even know if I could drive, but I did. And so
Uh-huh.
it's taken my body time to adjust. And then I would say the next big thing was December 21st for the winter solstice. I went out. I love meditating. I have a big labyrinth, all crystals. It's huge. And I go out there every morning, 4:35 in the morning. I love looking at the star constellation. And you look up and it's beautiful. I do my first round of connecting with, and I'm pretty profound with connecting with my golden one, my innate, the creator, my spiritual team, my galactic family, the healers, the angelic realm, the dragon family. I connect with everybody, and then Earth. And then when I was finishing connecting and grounding, I looked up and they were like dots, like round balls, like a Nerf ball, like every 10 feet. And it was from the east it rises in the east, from the west to the east. And then I looked down and then I looked up and they were moving and it made me really dizzy. And I'm like, whoa, the equilibrium. And they started going like a Nerf machine. And I said, what is that? And they said it was the winter solstice codes coming into the earth. And I said, whoa. And I was just watching and I go, does everybody get these? And they said, no. It's kind of like a rock in water. Whoever is open to receiving them will receive them. Everybody else goes around because it is free will. No matter what, at the end of the day, we always have free will. And so it went on for a good 3 minutes. And there was a lot of them. And they said it'll go around the world. And then I said, is this a ship? And then what happened was there was a 20 feet behind versus everybody was 10 off center was bigger than a North Star and it like collapsed time and space. And since that time, I've been on a fast track of awakening and profound life changes. So when you're a galactic hybrid walk-in and then you have hard souls and you wake up, it's really profound, right? So now they're kicking me out of the nest, to write a book and to get out and talk about the galactics because there's so much people fear, and there is no fear. My challenge to people is do a 30-day cleanse, like no TV, no anything. Like you need to be within, know thyself. I am all about aligning with your higher self, your golden one, and the creator. Anything outside of that is distortion. And it really is distortion. So it's really like I came back and my son in April was crying. He's 24. He's going to be a naturopathic doctor. And him and my daughter were on the porch talking with me one night. And he's going, when you died and came back, a part of you is not, you're not the same. It's not even here. And I only could have compassion for him. And I said, you're right. You're absolutely correct because the victim in the 3D is gone and it will never come back. Right.
Exactly.
So people notice it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your story, you've got so much. Uh, that's just a little part, but I want to show my audience. She does have a book, The Architect Returns. Brenda
Yeah.
Zyburt. You have to get this book. This is amazing. I just started it and I wish I could sit for 2 days and just read not even 2 days. It won't take that long, but I don't have the time. But everything that she's talking about is in this book and more so. And I've known Brenda for a few years now. All right. So the Golden One, Soul Source, our higher self brought us together to do this work. And we actually met in April of 23. And then we were together again in Mount Shasta in June of 23.
Yeah.
So all this is about our awakening and who we really are and getting us ready for this time. And in a couple days is the summer solstice of 2026. So that's why we are just giggly. We're just shooting the shit because we're so giggly of what is going to happen. This is great stuff that's happening right now, people. And people think that, all the bad stuff's going on. No, no, no. This is your soul awakening, just like the architect. She is here to do the mission, just like I am. And the family that we have is real. It's all about being real, and it's about alignment, about embodying and walking the walk as you talk the talk. And both of us do that. All right. Both of us and our souls knew that when they put us together back in April 23, and that was here in Rochester. She came to an event that I was hosting for Dr. John Ryan. That's how we met. And 3 months later, we ended up being in Sedona together. And there's no coincidence on any of that. Just like for her to be doing this for 30 years, it's just what she's always done. And then to have all these experiences and it to be wakened up at the right time to do
Yeah.
this work. Now, the codes that come in. Let's talk
Yeah.
about those codes.
Oh my gosh.
So talk a little bit about the codes so we can talk to the layman who kind of, what the freak is going on here? I mean, we know it's about our evolution and our ascending. And what does ascension mean? A lot of people say to me, what does ascension mean? So for you, what does ascension mean for you?
And that's a great question. It really is. Like, what does it mean to somebody to be awake? It's
Hmm.
like, what is your interpretation? Watching somebody else and saying, I want to be that, that's somebody else's vision board, and I need to jump on that because that's being awake. No, being awake is being authentic and true to your own self. And it really is aligning with your higher self, your golden one, and the creator, and having full trust, full faith, and full understanding that you are a conscious being, and the unity of your soul is so profound, right? I wrote an article, the intimacy, the architecture of the intimacy of knowing thyself. And there is nothing more profound than that. Somebody else can't bring it for you. There's nothing external. Everything is internal, right? It's all there. And us as healers, we can hold a coherent structure and do the energy and frequency that people need, but ultimately they own bringing their alignment in. We can never override their true, hope, their self, their oversoul. And I tell everybody, they are in perfect order. They are on their path, no matter what it is, because their their soul contract signed up for the experiences they're having at those frequencies. Everybody needs those frequencies. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. And as you wake up, you're going to have these profound, epiphanies. Like I can use me for an example because I've had so many. I was in a very abusive relationship, where my ex would hit me, fist fights, right? And I woke up one day and I'm going like, that's not even acceptable, right? You have to wake up and know your own self, your own value. So a lot of the lower frequencies have been beat into us in the 3D world. And there's so much brainwashing in all the media, all the news, politics, and everything. And that does change as people realize, I don't have to push that button for that airplane to go up and put chemicals all over on us. That's not even right. They'll start to wake up and have a conscious awakening, and then they make different choices. So the structures everybody thinks are just going to crash and burn don't crash and burn. They start internally, and as we wake up, we then change the external structure. And then one day we're going to look at a school and go, oh my God, that's so beautiful. I want my kids to go there because the people running it woke up and shifted. It's not that you can't be in the world and work, right? Know thyself, be here and do your passion because your passion will then change the whole architecture structure of that economics, farming, agriculture, science, engineers. Everybody is needed with their passion, and. So take Tesla. He didn't go off and be a Buddhist talking and running away in the monks, right? He brought in all this profound technology. He was awake in a different aspect. Einstein got electricity with a light bulb. So people just wake up and they do their passion. And artists, they paint beautiful paintings. That's their passion. So the fifth dimension is really about being present, being grounded, being here, and then bringing in your passion. And don't take everything so god dang serious. Laugh at yourself, right?
Right. Yeah. That's the three P's I talk about.
Yeah, tell
Per-
me about it.
Perception,
Yeah.
perspective, and
Hmm.
passion.
Oh, I love it.
And the fourth one is priority. It
Nice.
always should be a priority. All those three together.
Yes.
It's like that's the wake up. And
Yes.
that's what is happening now on planet Earth. Or people are waking up that there's more to life than they've been living.
Yes.
There's more than we've been programmed. There's
Hmm.
more than we've been patterned in our belief system, our BS, bunch of
Yeah.
BS that
Yeah.
we have been taught to be controlled in the square, in the box. Don't go outside that box. And if you do this, what's going to happen? It's the duality of the old system, and everything's changed now. And we are the ones, we are the lights.
Yeah.
That's why we get so excited. We just like little kids. We're just, because it's yes, yes, our passion is who we are,
Yeah.
and we're living our passion, our full purpose. And I the same thing. It's like when they talk to me like they are now, it's like it's just melding. You just see the excitement. It's the joy. And we're
Yeah.
like little kids. It's because this is what we came here to do, is to play on planet Earth
Yes.
and
Yes.
have playmates. And it's like, yes, you get me,
Yeah.
and then get excited about it. Get
Yeah.
excited about it. Brenda, you've got so much. And we were talking before we started this, and we're going to do another one, but we're going to do a live one. So we can have you talk to us. Any questions you want to talk to us about? So
Yeah.
we're going to set that up probably in another 2 or 3 weeks. All right. So my audience, I am just so honored to be able to bring people like Brenda through and to talk. And that's exactly what Ascension Wisdom is all about. We all have wisdom.
Yes.
We came here to learn
Yes.
how to live in the earth of on earth, but we came from all these other places. And I love you talking about the Pleiadians and the Torians and the Andromedians, and I know I say them wrong, but and of course the Syrians, and there's so much more. We get excited. So you've had experiences with them. We had experience with them in Mount Shasta,
Yeah.
and about who's in the sacred ground and the ley lines. And a lot of people are just waking up to all these terminologies, ley lines and nodes, and what is this all about? Well, yeah, well, that's the knowledge and wisdom we have that we can share, and we get excited about sharing.
Yes.
So
I want to say, for Mother Earth, she's a living angelic being just like we are. She chose to be in a world. Okay. I am an architect. I'm a builder of conscious realities. And like the whole Milky Way system or the universe or world. And so when I think about the world, the ley lines, the nodes, the nulls, the grids, it's kind of like our nervous system, our bloodstream, and its mothers around. And like the water is the blood, it's the nourishment of the whole soul. And she has a whole consciousness. And when people say there's a parallel life or a parallel world,
yes.
what like the Stargate teaches, and I love it, and Zazar, who's channeled by Marilyn, that the Milky Way galaxy, we connect with the new human beings, and it's the Earth, parallel Earth, on the other side of our galaxy. And on the other side of the galaxy, that version of Earth didn't descend into the third dimension, and all the timelines of Lemurian, Atlantis, and like all the previous cavemen, everybody, they all kept going and raised their frequency and they didn't descend. So it's kind of like it merges. It's kind of like her higher consciousness, and it's really real. We've connected with the future humans, and
Yes.
they're very beautiful, loving, and they didn't descend. So we do have doubles on another planet that you can
Mhm.
connect with, as you can connect in to the other worlds because everything's happening right now,
And
right?
you know what? I just when I was a little girl, we were in Vegas at the time, and I was connecting with my double.
Yeah,
My girlfriend and I were doing light language, but we were connecting with our doubles in
yeah,
another planet.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes. And I love Cesar and Brigitte and Jules and the Stargate. And there's so many of us out there. And
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I was just in Ireland with them, Newgrange, for the retreat there, and it was so beautiful. So, yes, they do great meditations. And then I want to say, like, in my dreams a lot, I do a lot of out of body travel. Some would call it bilocating. I go through stargates, and my Syrian husband, I've just got to he's so phenomenal. Like, I've
Uh-huh.
been to water planet so many times. sometimes when I go there, I come back and he loves me so profoundly. I get depressed for days because I missed that pure love that isn't on this planet yet. And in one of our meditations, I actually bonded with my perspective self up there with my Syrian husband. So I'm very connected with Syrians in the water planet, as I am Lyrans and Vega. Like I go
Yeah.
through portals with the beings. They come and get me through my sleep, right? I was in a dream state one night. I don't know where I was, and a lion came roaring in my face, and it really scared me back from wherever I was in an out of body travel back to my dream state. And then, like, the female lineage, because they're more in charge of things in the Lyra, and she came through and took my hand, and we went through a portal to Lyra. So, like, he came to wake me up and scared me, and then she came and got me. So, they're with us. Some aren't like physically walking, but you are with them. Um, like when you sleep, your soul leaves, you go with them. So you're always learning. You're learning either on ships, you're going to other planets because everything's happening right now. So people are like, well, how can you do that? Everything happens now. There's no time.
Right.
There just is no time. So you can easily, once you wake up, tap into your other lives. And you just go there, you bilocate. That's how I have conversations with my future self. You can go
Yes.
into the future and talk to yourself. And that's in my book, like Conversations with My Future Self. And so it's really real. How's
I
that?
know.
It's real.
It's like you can't make this stuff up, people. You can't
No,
make this stuff up. You can't.
no. Somebody asked me, like, what did your kids think about all this? And I laughed so hard. It's like my daughter, who's 26, wanted to go have her own reality TV and be on the Kardashians. Like, she watched reality. And I'm like, because there's so much paranormal going on. And I think an example would be, and I kind of laugh about it now, and it's not funny, but it's so real. And when I travel, like when I'm driving, I had three children. I had a daughter who was older, had a baby at 16. So my grandson and my son were 16 months apart. And he's 24 now. My grandson's 22. And then my other grandson's 20 and my granddaughter's 18. So they grew up very close to my other two I had later in my early 30s. I've been a grandmother since early 30. And I always took him to Disneyland. Nobody wanted my older daughter. She never went with us. And we had a niece, their cousin that came with. So both girls were 15. My son was 14. My grandson was 12. Okay, so you just know their age. And I had a Sequoia where we got in the road, and from Arizona to the California border is 2 hours. I put in a Native American flute music because I wanted the kids to settle down. They're all going to Disney. They're all hyped,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You put in a CD, and I got on the 10, a highway. And if anybody knows this stretch of road, it's mountains, it's desert, and you go high speed, 85. Like you're
Uh-huh.
driving,
Yep.
serious
Yep.
driving. We got on the road. Nobody remembered it until we got to the California border and I hit the ridges. It's like we were all
Everybody,
out,
you're all
all,
gone. Yes.
and I woke up, and then everybody else kind of woke up out of a sleep, and Mariah took that CD out and said, "We're never listening to this again." But it wasn't even that. It took me a while, and I had to ask. Like, I had a session with Adorana when she was, channeling them, and I asked him about it, and he said, "Because I'm a hybrid galactic, I welcome ships in, and when they need me, I'm just gone." And he said, "That's just how your time is. When you're needed, you're just gone." So I don't know who was driving my car, but I can imagine people driving by. All these kids are just sleeping in spirits in the car driving. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And people don't realize what happens to people that are galactics, like,
That's right. I've done that. Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I can count many stories myself. The same thing happened to me. Is that you're on the road, it's like automatic, and then you go off and you're off, but you're still in your body. And I call it my team just guiding me where I need to go. And they know I need to be in two places at the same time. And they protect me. It does exactly what happens.
I think somebody comes in our body with us to make sure that we
Oh,
can drive. So it's more of a different soul comes in,
it
maybe
kind
who's
of,
on Earth that can drive,
right.
and they make sure that everything's safe and healthy because there's other times I'm gone and people have been in the cars and I drive from here and I was going to go to Sedona and I ended in Flagstaff. And it's like No, right? And I drive, but there's many times, so I try to stay so present when I drive. And I just have a lot of paranormal things, and my kids are witnesses to it. That's why my daughter's like, some of the things you say or do when you get up, it's just like it's crazy. So, and it is. So it's fun, right? It's different. It's fun. So, when you do wake up, you get to experience a lot. And a lot of people, Sheila, they say like, "Oh, I have gifts I can channel, or I have gifts I can do light language." And what they teach me is they're not gifts. The more present you are, the more remembrance you have. These
Exactly.
everything people think they have, there are normal gifts we learned in other lifetimes to prepare us to
Exactly.
come back. And the more you remember, you're going to have hearing, you're going to have feelings, you're going to have amazing gifts that are just pure remembrance of who you truly are,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it.
I
And
love
I think it's fun.
it.
I think life is fun. And you know, I still work. You were a nurse. You were in the hospital. I still work in corporate America, top 25, top 50, top 250, you know, in the indices of aerospace, semiconductor, and medical. And I'm in supply chain. I negotiate contracts for a living. I manage suppliers anywhere from 1 million to 1 billion. And it's not like I don't work. I have to work, but my spiritual degrees are so much higher than anything they can do because business really is child's play, right? It's not even a challenge. So we do have to work, but we can shift and change to have it more compassionate and more loving and more holistic. Even in negotiation, somebody asked me how, and I said, it's more of a win-win. It's not a, I'm going to take and run you out of business because I want all your profits. There's a lot of greed in the industries. And I have been with some companies in these last 5 years or so that are more compassionate, and some are like, no, we don't do penalties in our contract. No, we want our suppliers healthy. And so it's really being fair, it's being ethical, and it's having a great relationship. I work global. I work on a global level. I've traveled the whole world. And so I've seen all the cultures. I've seen a lot of people in men are men, women are women. I don't care what face you have on. And everybody has kids and everybody has families and everybody, you know, loves other humans. And
Right.
it's about compassion, right? Yeah. So there is more compassion coming into the world, a lot
Yes.
more,
Yes, there is, and more exciting times.
right?
And we've seen it, we know it,
Yeah,
and we can't wait for you all to come with us.
I
So,
know. It's nice. So you're going to be having a class online pretty soon. Tell me, when are you having your class?
oh, that's I'm going to be teaching Unity Field Healing, which is a modality about the 24th chromosome, basically our spiritual being who we really are, where we come from Sirius, all right, from Syrian, by the
Yeah.
Syrians. So yeah, that's going to be in August 15th and 16th. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be online. It's a 2-day program, and I will have more on my website. So you guys can check all that out, all about me. And what I'm going to do is, Brenda, go ahead and tell them your email address, right? Your website, and that they can connect with you that way. And then you're also going to be on this again. And the book, yes, the
I
book. Don't forget about the book.
know.
Yeah,
It's
got to get.
BrendaZyburt.com. So my name, BrendaZyburt.com. And then if they want my email, it's on my website. It's info@BrendaZyburt.com. I
Yeah,
really don't like social media, so I apologize.
that's
Like,
all right. We don't have to, but we're going to do YouTube. So YouTube really gets us
yeah,
out there. So we're going to do that. And more will be revealed, everybody. So you got to come back. And Brenda, I just cherish you, sister. I just really do. And
I love you.
everyone, keep coming back. Shine
Yeah,
your light brightly. You're
yeah,
not alone. We
yeah,
do this together.
yeah,
Walk of
yeah,
being in alignment of who we really are. So
yeah.
thank you everybody for coming today. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome everyone to another enlightening Ascension Wisdom Conversations. It is brought to you by Galactic Ascension Academy at SheilaTillich.com. Yes, this is the time to awaken and live your soul's mastery. I am a galactic grandmother, Sheila Tillich, and I invite you to relax and enjoy this time together as we discover our Ascension Wisdom Mastery. As souls, we have entered a higher dimensional reality as humans on planet Earth. This is the new energy consciousness. It has awakened our multidimensional spiritual DNA abilities, which are given to us by our